These are the ingredients I'm using today for the Bolognese sauce. I've got dried Italian herbs, which are usually quite tasty. I use them quite a bit. Minced garlic. Generally I used fresh garlic, but today I'm using whatever I've got in the fridge, so I don't need to keep going to the shop. Some tomato paste. This is rosemary infused butter, something else I have in the fridge to use. 2 onions, 2 cans of diced crushed tomatoes, some extra virgin olive oil and some balsamic vinegar, a packet of dried spaghetti, and 500 grams of minced meat. Also some salt and pepper and about 1/4 cup of water. Put in the rosemary butter and some olive oil. Turn the heat up high and start to fry the onions. Two tablespoons of crushed garlic. Stir that through. Now add the minced meat. I like my mince quite small, so I tend to break it up quite a bit. I don't like it chunky. I'm adding about 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. You can add more if you like. Sometimes I put more in. Today I'm putting about 3 in. And then stir that through. Two tins of crushed tomatoes. Blend it through. Couple of pinches of salt. I think there's about 3 to 4 pinches of salt here. Some pepper. And I'm going to add the herbs in now. Probably about 1/4 cup. Give another stir up. I'm going to add the 1/4 cup of water just to add more liquid so I can let it simmer for a little while. Now I'm going to add the balsamic vinegar or balsamic glaze, whatever it is you have, a couple of squirts. I just find this adds a nice sweetness to the sauce. If you don't have this, you can add a little bit of sugar. I turn the heat down to low and we're going to let it simmer for about 10 minutes with the lid on. While the sauce is simmering away, we're going to put the water on to boil for the spaghetti. The pasta water has come to a boil, so we're just going to add a couple of teaspoons of salt. Pop in the spaghetti. Just break it up with the tongs so it doesn't stick together. Back to the sauce. It's been simmering away for 10 minutes, so we're going to add the basil now. I'm just going to break up the basil leaves and pop them in. I don't worry about cutting them. So I'm using about half a dozen basil leaves. If you don't have fresh basil, you can use dried basil, but I have already put dried herbs in, so it's nice to add fresh basil. Give it a stir through. Oh, it's smelling delicious. I'm just going to let that simmer for another 5 minutes on low heat. Decided to make some garlic bread today as well. I've bought this sourdough loaf, and in the fridge I have this garlic butter spread. Haven't used it before, usually I use fresh garlic and butter, so I'm going to give it a go tonight. Just going to slice up the loaf into probably 1/2 inch thick slices. This is what the butter looks like. There's quite a bit of garlic in there, also a bit of parsley I think. You don't have to be too neat trying to get the butter into the bread, it's all going to melt in the oven anyway, so just try and get as much of it into the slices as you can. I'm just going to wrap the garlic bread in alfoil now. This will keep it nice and moist in the oven and stop the garlic butter from running all over the tray. In the oven, I've got it on about 200 degrees for about 20 minutes. So our pasta is cooked now, so we're going to drain it and put it all together.